Anyway. Sorry, sir, when is the problem? Sorry, sir, when is the problem? Okay. So, you can rotate. Okay. Please check if this one is on 8 hours or 45 minutes.
Yes, I said it's 8 hours.
8 hours?
Yes.
Okay. But what was the flow like? Is it flowing?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
People are already.
Should I continue with? You're sending the link. Where is this?
Sir.
Take out time and study distance.
Yes.
You're somehow uninterested in them. You're not interested in shooting video. All the setup we did yesterday, you didn't participate. You didn't know what we're doing. You know what we're setting. You know, if I tell you now, set camera and I want to go live, you don't know what to do. So please get interested in it and learn it.
I'll do that.
Yes, please. Share this. Are people there?
Yes.
I did not come up yet.
Okay.
Still, nobody else turned up.
Are you live already?
Yes.
Yes.
God from beginning to
The WhatsApp now. That green color. Yes.
Am I there?
Yes, you are there. Second one here.
See the recording on is still going.
I'm doing what?
Sir, this one, is it from your end of photo?
I think you should do. Not so.
Forward it to my business to WhatsApp.
Okay, this thing is everywhere.
Okay, everyone.
Yes, they cannot view. I can't view nothing, and the Wi-Fi is stable.
Please, are you sure you're live?
You showing like
Yes, one person has joined.
But they cannot
Okay.
see.
If that is happening, then you cannot expend your energy in the right way. You're supposed to have created all of these things, and all you do.
Should I turn my camera to show you?
Right way.
I think
You're supposed to have created
you sent the old link, not the new one,
It's the new thing.
to me. Why is it to me the old?
Sir, you sent the new link to me,
Yeah.
and I copied it.
person is there?
It's the living
I think she
same
should be the
house.
one.
It's not that you sent the new link. What person is there? The one you sent them, are you sure is the new link?
I sent it. I'm sending the one I just sent to you now.
Okay. Please turn it. Praises.
Sir, people joining me.
2 persons now.
No, one person. One more person.
2 persons now. Two persons now. Two persons now.
Okay.
Are you viewing it on the? That's why it's making it like this.
3 people now.
Okay. So far, if you have any question before I proceed, let me see if I can take some questions. How many minutes have we done? It's 12.
Check the new count. So 8 minutes.
Okay. So let's see if we can take some questions. Okay, so let me know if you have any questions so far. Let me know if you have any question before I proceed. Before I proceed, we have 2 more steps before we draw the curtain.
No, I was trying to calculate it. It was exactly 45 minutes that thing ended.
Okay.
But the camera is showing 54 minutes.
Okay.
She cut. But we'll see continue.
Then we'll continue from where the teaching starts. Because the question and answers, unless you want to add questions and answers to the end.
No, record everything. Yes, do we have any question? Any questions so far? Can I see the question? Not someone asked that question. It's a privilege to be there as a point of I want to call someone that was trying to start up a business. For me, I'm trying to start a fashion business. Is there a pen here? Can I get a pen? Okay. A fashion business where I sell materials and also give professional advice to customers on a particular kind of dress to wear. Okay. get one more question, then we'll end the question and answer session. I will answer them because once I start answering, I want to flow into the teaching and then continue them. Okay, someone is asking that I can say I hope we will still have access to the video on YouTube channel to catch up with the session that the network interfered with. Another person said, I lost you 10 minutes ago. Now I'm taking back to start yet my Wi-Fi is stable. A glitch appeared and I lost it. I'm unable to join back to life. Okay, but you are here already. So we'll make sure that you get access to, we'll make sure that all of you will get access to the recorded version. We are recording it also. Okay, so we'll host the recording and give you access to it, so that you can watch it as much as you want. Okay, someone asked another question. I think that's the last question. Good evening, sir. Thank you so much for this training. My question is, should I pick just one goal and focus on it until I see results? Or I can pick multiple goals and work towards achieving them in 90 days. Okay. So, let me answer the questions. I will start with this last question. Can I pick multiple goals? Okay, so the reality is that if you want to have an amazing result, you have to pick one goal for that 90 days, right? You have to pick one goal. And then in picking that one goal, the way I advise people to do it is that among all your goals, there is that one goal that when you achieve it, it will unlock the other goals. It will unlock a lot of other things, and it will make more sense for your business or your life than every other one. Pick that goal and focus on it. When you are done with it, then, you know, you can, I said it before the glitch, that experts and people at the top 1%, they go through 90 days period, not 90 days energy burst, a minimum of 3 times a year, right? So you can pick one goal that is very important to you, clean it out within that 90 days, and then rest and pick another goal. That's what I was explaining when I was drawing the movement, momentum and rest, and then momentum, right? So for each of this period you are trying to build momentum, it's advisable that you pick one major goal. Make sure that goal is major, all right? Then the second question is from Emmanuel. He says, it's a privilege to be here, sir. Okay. What about someone that's just trying to start a business? It's also the same thing. If you're trying to start a business, you have to choose what you want to do. If the goal you have for that 90 days is to start that business, that is a beautiful goal. You can give yourself 90 days to start that business and start generating XYZ revenue within that 90 days. Okay, you can also use this to start a business. I mean, whenever I want to start a new business, I want to start a new thing, I do this. I create a 90 days period, create a 90 days calendar, and then I use it to clean out every single thing I need to do. In fact, recently, I decided that before I launch any product, I create a minimum of 100 videos. Around that product. So if I decide to launch a new business today, or I decide to introduce a new product into the market, I will create that 90 days window. Within that 90 days window, one of the things I will be doing is that I will be creating one video per day. If I can, depending on the length of the video, I can do 2 videos per day. And then by the time the 90 days is ending, one of the things I will come out with is that I would have distributed 100 videos around that one product. I seek to achieve saturation. So you can use it to start it's actually a great way to start a business. All right, it will help you to go faster and run further than not doing it. Okay, so that is that. Now, continuing from where we stopped. I have discussed your goal. I have discussed the pre-launch phase and what you do within that pre-launch phase. Then I have discussed the 90 days itself. What happens within that 90 days? And I've said it clearly that within that 90 days, you need to make a clear list. Month 1, month 2, and month 3. So you make a clear list of every single thing you want to do within that 90 days window. You make a very clear list of it. All right? And then you make sure that no day is left without some form of activities. And every single day must have a minimum of 6 hours activity. Minimum of 6 hours if you are doing it part-time, and then 12 hours if you are doing it full-time. Now, over the years doing this, one of the things I have discovered, and one of the things the people I have taught this discovered, is that within that 90 days, sometimes you don't achieve your goal within that 90 days. Maybe you said you want to be selling 100 products every single month by the time you end that 90 days. On that 90 days, you check the last month, you may discover that you sold maybe just 20 products. One thing that never happens is that you never go through this exercise and then you don't see a significant change. But what we have also noticed is that at the end of that 90 days, the entire year and even the year following will continue paying for the activities you carried out within these 90 days. You will keep reaping harvest from the activities you carried out within these 90 days. One of the days, I sent one of my branch managers to a branch, an old branch that has been struggling. I mean, that branch used to be one of the oldest branches of my company. I think it was the first or second branch we opened. And then I sent a manager there to manage that branch because the other guys that were managing it were not doing well. So when he was going, he asked me to advise him on what to do so that his going there and his activities there will not be like the activities of the other guys that have gone there and didn't achieve much results. I told him, when you go there, do a 90 days energy burst. And then by the time you are done with this 90 days energy burst, the entire system, the entire branch would have changed. And then he went there, I sat him down, taught him how to do this, We discussed on all of the activities he will carry out within that period. And then by the time we finished this and the guy went there, he did exactly what I told him. He did exactly what I told him. And the period he was doing it, the company was doing a launch, a product launch of a new product. Right? This guy did not achieve his 90 days goal. He did not achieve his 90 days goal. I think he had a goal of selling about 100 million naira. I can't remember now precisely. He didn't achieve that result. But during that product launch, he sold more in that struggling branch than any other branch within that 90 days that he was sent there. He ended up unhappy that he did this and didn't achieve the goal that he planned for it, right? Because he bragged for his team so much that within these 90 days, everything will change. Something changed. He sold more than other branches. Coming from a branch that was struggling before that time, it was a lot, right? But then, I told him not to worry about not achieving his result at the end of that 90 days. That he will see the results come later. What happened is that they filled their buckets with hundreds of people that promised to buy the product within that 90 days activity that they were running, and those people did not buy. But you know what happened? By the time that 90 days ended, the next month, some of them bought. The second month, some of them bought. And that entire year, they continued buying from that guy and that branch, to the extent that by the end of that year, the result he got there was phenomenal. That's what usually happens when you engage this activity. You may end up not achieving exactly what you want, but that entire year will change. The entire destiny of that year will change if you can carry out this. All right? So you need to line it up every single day, the activities that you will carry out on those days. Okay? And then you must remember that I said that the most important thing we are trying to achieve is to create all-out massive action. To create all-out massive action. And the last thought on this is that you should never carry out a 90 days game alone. Make sure you use your pre-launch period to create a team. Okay? When you are done with this, the step 1 is to build momentum. If you remember, now we are done with the steps in the step 1. The step 2, when you have finished this 90 days, is that you get to a point where you need to sustain activities. You need to sustain the momentum you have created. All right? What you do, or what you are trying to achieve at this period, is to now create a system around the momentum you have built. Create a system around the momentum you have built, so that you don't lose out entirely. In sports, if you are a bodybuilder, you discover that they have 2 major seasons in bodybuilding, right? You have the active season, where you are working out daily, trying to build the shape you want, try to achieve the structure you want. When you finish that active stage and you have achieved that structure, you now need to stop working out the way you were working out to build that structure, right? You enter a maintenance stage where you are trying to now maintain that structure. When you were building that structure, if you were working out every single day, Monday to Sunday, by the time you enter maintenance stage, you may need to now begin to work out 2 or 3 times a day, right? It's the same thing here. You have built this momentum. Now it is time to sustain it. Building momentum is full of activities. You are using activities to build momentum. You are engaging in a lot of activities. Now, sustaining momentum is about creating a system that will carry out those activities. So if you were sending DM to 100 people when you were building momentum, now you are done with your 90 days. Build a system that will send DM to at least 100 people. Now, not a day, but maybe within a week. Build a system that can follow up on these people, not every day, but at least weekly. Right? So these are some of the things you must create to make sure that you sustain the momentum that you have created. And then when you do this well, you enter a period where you begin to get demand for your products every single day without marketing. If you create a system that sustains momentum, and this one is supposed to last for a minimum of another 90 days. This one has lasted for 90 days. If you achieve these two and you end up not doing anything in the year again, you will keep having demand for your product. You will keep selling. You will keep making money. You will keep generating revenue every single day of your business, just as a result of these two things you have done. Just as a result of these two things you have done. All right? So that's what you do. You build momentum, you sustain momentum, and then you get into a stage where you earn without current activities. So the ideal way to build a business is that you build in such a way that the things you're reaping from your business today are not coming from the activities you are carrying out today. You build a system that stack up activities so much that you will reap rewards, right, after you have carried out those activities. So you don't wake up today and then you are thinking of how to make sales today. And to make sales today, you need to go out and market today. Once your business or whatever it is that you do run that way, you will not have results. You will burn out. You will struggle, right? Because you cannot carry out activities today and that activity will give you results today. So it's beautiful that you start out your year stacking activities line by line. These activities are the things that will help to ensure that the year will end beautifully. All right? Now, that is the second thing I'm sharing with you today. The first one is that you make a decision, if you remember, on how you want to make your money. The second is that you build a momentum system. And the last thing I will share with you is that you need to get into a circle of accountability. Get into a circle of accountability. When you want to elevate your life to a certain level, you need to engage in some kind of activities. And what will help you to sustain the mindset, the activities, and everything you will create is that you belong to a circle that will help you to sustain it. Right? At this point, you need to build some kind of relationships that will keep you accountable to ensure that you achieve this. Right? Remember, in life, as well as in business, in life as well as in business and in any money-making hustle, we have strategies that we use to make money. We have strategies that we use to make money. What strategies deliver to you is 20%. What strategy deliver to you is 20%. When you leave strategy, the second thing that we have is discipline. This is where you find consistency. This is where you find ability to stay on something until it works. Ability to stay until you see results, right? Sometimes the problem we have is not strategy. We have the right strategy. But our problem is that we are not consistent enough to carry out this strategy long enough for it to produce results. All right? So this carries 30% of the results. But then we have a third thing that carries 50%. And this 50% can invalidate both strategy and your discipline if you fail to get it right. And that third thing is environment. Environment, wrong environment will kill your strategy, kill your discipline, kill your energy, kill everything. And one of the environments that you need to make sure that you find yourself in is an environment where you are held accountable. Environment where you are motivated. And then environment where your mind is constantly challenged. I will end by telling you the story of two brothers. They were twins, raised by the same parents in the same house. And then by the time they grew old, one of them was extremely wealthy, the other was poor. And then they decided to interview these guys at 80. So they interviewed the rich guy, and then he said the things he said, which I'm not so much interested in. But when they now decided to interview the one that ended up poor, they asked him, if you have the opportunity to live your life again, what are the things you will do differently? And he said he will do 3 things differently. Number 1, he said he will pay anything to anybody to change his mind. When his brother was investing in his mind, he was not. And that made a major difference in how they ended. Number 2, he said he will set his priorities right. Life is about priorities. Life is about focusing on what is important, majoring on the major and minoring on the minor, right? But the third thing he did is that he said he will choose his circle right. He will choose his circle. He will consciously choose his circle. So you need to find an environment, you need to find systems, you need to find circles. Sometimes it might be a mentorship circle, sometimes it might be an accountability circle. Any circle it is that you can get into that will help you to achieve these 3 things. That is the third thing you need to do in 2026. So that by the end of this year, you can hit your chest and say, I chose the year I want to have. I designed that year, and then it ended up that way. Thank you. So I don't know, do we take more questions? We take more questions if there are.
We already have one.
One question, okay. We should just take that. Okay. Within the 90 days, do I need to just plan or sell in while planning? Okay. Within that 90 days, I advise that you sell while planning. All right? I advise that you sell while planning. And I am a strong believer in selling before you build. I am a strong believer in selling before you build. It will make a major difference. It will cause a major shift in your business if you decide within yourself that before the day you launch your business, you would have made your first 50 sales. You would have gotten your first 50 customers waiting for your business to open, right? Because you see, we see all of those statistics on the internet, all of those statistics that are released by Chamber of Commerce of our different countries every single year. And you see the amount of small businesses that fail, some within 1 year, some within 5 years. And when you go and check, one of the reasons why they fail at that rate is because of lack of funding, inadequate funding. Money is a major problem in building business in Africa. So one of the ways to overcome lack of money is to build a system that constantly brings money into your business from the first day you open your business, because expenses will begin to run from day one. So if you can build a business that can get a minimum of 50 clients or 50 customers to you even before you begin to build. Then your business will be different. Your business will be different. Right? If I am to start a fashion business, I will not start with making wares. I will not start with any of those things. I will start with maybe creating content, maybe teaching. I will start with making designs that I will sew. When I start sewing, designs that I will sell, I will pre-sell them. I will pre-sell them. I have a video on YouTube I did about pre-selling. If you can find it and watch it, it will also help you. All right? So that's what I advise you do. Don't just sit down and plan for 90 days. As your plan, begin to sell. All right? Thank you. So I think that's all. We have another question there.
No
I
question.
don't think we have this already. So thank you guys, and see you next time. Okay. I will drop more to help you in planning and designing a good year, especially when it comes to this idea of creating a 90 days plan, right? I'm going to design a template, and then I will share with every one of us in the group, so that not in the channel, in the group. I think we have a group, right? Yes. I will design it and share it in the alumni group, so that everybody that attended this training today will have what they need to work on all of this. Thank you and have a good night.